Hi everyone, Delicia here for Delhi Lingo Academy. So today, as your hype Thea, we are going to talk about scholarship, fellowships, and grants. What the heck are they? What is the difference? And why do we have so many different names just to get paid for graduate school? So let's dive in. Before we head into the main part of the content, I'm going to introduce myself. Who's Delicia? Why the heck am I here? And if you're new to me, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. We're going to hype you up to get that money for graduate school and undergrad to make sure you graduate on time in the years that you want to do it. So I am founder and CEO of Delhi Lingo Academy, where I support students with career coaching, advising, resume prep, interview prep, getting them from high school into college, and then from college to graduate school or the career or job that they want. In addition to that, I also work with diversity and inclusion initiatives and strategy with small businesses. I did a lot of work with programming and bystander engagement training for students, faculty, and staff at the university level, as well as education on intersectionality and inclusion practices and bystander engagement and conflict management. So I like to say I'm a career coach, higher education professional turned online educator. I was also a Spanish teacher. My family's from Paraguay, so I am an Amerihuaya as well. So let's dive into today's video. So our goals for today are very simple. We're going to talk about three things: the scholarships, fellowships, and grants. And what are the differences? I'm going to give some examples and what your next steps are on this graduate school journey. So before we begin, we have to visualize and ground ourselves to really get into what it is we're going to learn today. So join me in grounding. So let's put one hand over our heart, one hand over our stomach. I don't know if you can see me, but let's take some deep breaths, baby. There's a lot going on in the world, so we got to ground our energy. So deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's take another deep breath in. Deep breath out. Another one. One more. Awesome. So now that we're grounded and excited and ready to learn, I want you to visualize, what does it mean for you to get the scholarship, the grant, the fellowship that you want? Even though you don't know the semantics or the logistics of what they actually mean, what does it mean to you to get that money, honey, for your grad program or for your undergraduate program? What does that mean to you? Why do you want it? What does it mean in your heart, in your stomach, in your body? Like, embody that feeling? What would that mean for you? Joy, excitement, accomplishment, success. A breath of fresh air, right? So let's visualize that. Let's bring that energy in. Now that we've grounded our bodies to the center of the earth and our bodies and our energy space, let's visualize. Close your eyes with me. Let's do this together. What would that fellowship mean to you? That grant, that scholarship, to get the Fulbright, to get the Gates Cambridge, to get the Rhodes, the Schwarzman, whatever fancy fellowship, the Daisy Soros, the Pickering. What would that mean to you? Would that be a peace of mind? Would that be success? Would it be like a hell yes? What does it mean to you? You don't have to tell me, or if you do, tell me in the comments, send me an email, show me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, wherever you want to connect with me. Tell me what that means to you. I would really love to know. So for me, what did a Fulbright mean? It meant that I can go abroad for a year, I can learn Portuguese, and I can meet really awesome people and really understand what it means to work in diplomacy. So in order to prepare for that fellowship and that grant application process, I really had to think about it. I really had to embody it, and I really had to visualize it. So if you're a visual learner like me, take out a piece of paper, write it out, draw it out, do what you need in order to feel it, embody it, and visualize it. Yes, this is a video for you to learn, but I also want it to be a kind of like a workshop for you. Do this with me right now. Visualize, embody it. Pause the video if you have to, because I want that for you. I truly want that for you. And it's not only going to take me to want it for you, a professor, a teacher, a parent, a guardian, a mentor, a friend, a partner. It's going to take you to want it for you too. Truly, you have to truly, truly want it, like in your gut, like, oh, give it to me now. Like, I want this scholarship, I want this fellowship, give it to me now, type of thing, right? So now that you've got that like zest, like, give it to me, I want it. Like pretending, right? If we get this is the diploma, right? Let's pretend this is the scholarship, the fellowship, right? And I'm handing it over to you. What would that mean? What would that baton mean to you? Or that thing, not thing, right? But like the diploma, the grad diploma or the undergrad diploma. What would it mean to you? Really think about that, reflect on that. So I'm gonna give you about a minute to do that together. Pause it. If you already did it, you can fast forward to really, really do it. And why do I do this and why am I so passionate about this is because I want first gen, BIPOC, women of color, men of color, LGBTQ plus people who are generally at the margins of our society to do an internal reckoning that you and I are worth that financial aid that we are going to receive, that we must reclaim that reparations, right? The grants, the fellowships, the scholarships, the degrees. We belong. And that's on period with a T, the Gen Zers out here. It's part of reclaiming, it's part of reparations. So we have to have that mindset in order to bring us to the research that we're going to do, the application process that we're going to do, in order to get all of that, because that's part of paying for grad school. So this presentation came about because I want those who showed up for the Let's Not Pay for Grad School webinar with Dr. Kiona and Let's Not Travel, or how not to travel like a basic bitch, or how not to grad school like a basic bitch. We did a presentation in October. Here we are, right before going live, a free seminar for students. If you didn't catch it, you can catch the replay on her Patreon. Here is the information. Make sure you go and get that information if you need it. It was part of a 2-day seminar with various different programming. Go to her website here, and her Instagram has all the details to get all the information for you to access that replay. So we did this together. And one of the biggest questions was, what was the difference between a scholarship, fellowship, and grant? I talked a little bit about in my presentation, but I wanted to dive in deeper. So this is why I'm here today. So that's why we're here with today's topic. We're going to talk about fellowship versus scholarship versus grants for graduate programs specifically. However, this will still also apply to undergraduate students if you are an undergrad. So where are we going to start? We got to do research. That's the very first step of anything: career, school, life, relationships. We have to do our research. I'm an academic at heart, a little nerdy, you know, look at all my books back here. We got to do the research. So let's talk first about scholarships. 101, money, right? This is about getting paid to go to grad school or undergrad. There are millions of dollars in scholarships that are not distributed throughout the year. And I'm going to link the article that talks about those stats, and you can do the research on that, but I don't want to get too into that. However, there is money that is not accounted for every year for scholarships and grants, so someone has to apply for it. So, really quickly, a scholarship provides funding to students for university tuition and other related expenses and can be either need-based or merit-based. So this is directly from Profellow. I'm going to show you what Profellow is because that is your first place. They have different opportunities for webinars. They have a whole database on fellowships. So that's going to be your first place to start with your research. So scholarships really quickly is basically funding to go to school. You don't have to pay it back. You don't have to maybe do anything specific like a proposal, or you don't have to really send maybe how you spent the money, or at the end of the day, what you ended up doing with it and in what program. You sometimes are just given the money for tuition, books, living expenses, and you manage it. So it's really specific to school, university, and a program. And then make sure you check on university websites. Each website will give you what scholarship opportunities are available, what fellowships, what grants, who to talk to, and where. If it's not on the financial aid website, go to the individual department for the program, and that's where they will have that information. So that's scholarships, my friends. It's literally money for you to do your grad program or your undergrad program, and it's typically need-based and or merit-based. So fellowships, basically funding for your academic achievement. So one of my big missions and goals is to really peel back these big terms that are really used as gatekeeping vocab to maybe not get people to apply, because they're going to hear a word and be like, oh my God, what does that mean? This is too much. I can't do it, and get overwhelmed. No, we're here to break that barrier. So if you're still with me, we're going to go on to Fellowships 101. So what the heck is a fellowship? I took a screenshot directly from Profellow so you can see what their website looks like and not get overwhelmed by what they have on it, because they have a lot of good resources. So basically, a fellowship is a short-term funded merit-based opportunity to do something exceptional. So what does that mean? That could be a research project. If you're in film, that could be funding for your project to do a documentary, to do your short film. If you're a scientist, to do your research. If you are in language development, to do research abroad, if you want to go to other countries to learn about their education system. So it has international opportunities as well, and for in-country experiences. So like I said, short-term funded merit-based opportunities to do something exceptional as it relates to your academic success and your academic experiences. So this is, for example, if I were to continue my research from graduate school, from undergrad into my PhD program about the intersectionality between growing up in the US as a Latina, my family's from Paraguay, and then I moved to Brazil like I did on my Fulbright grant, and I wanted to learn about what it means to be first gen in Brazil and in Paraguay versus the US. That would be a transnational kind of research project. So I would want to apply for a fellowship that can fund that, right? If I'm not in a program, PhD program, maybe I can fund it out with outside grants and fellowships on my own. So that's kind of the thought process behind that. So fellowships provide funding for a unique work placement, professional training, independent project, research, or graduate and doctoral study. So fellowships are offered in virtually all disciplines at all career levels. So hope you heard that. All disciplines at all career levels. So you can do this at an entry level, at a mid-level career, and also at if you're in your later career. What does that mean, right? So early career, 0 to 5 years out of college, mid-level, 5 to 10, 15 years, and then later career, I would say 15, 20 and beyond, right? So that's kind of how we identify it within career coaching. And that's how I like to identify it, right? There may be other people who separate it differently. However, this is what I do with the work I do with my students. So keep that in mind, right? So what are the components of a fellowship? We get merit-based, project-driven, writing samples, different writing prompts. So this is part of your application process. It's going to be merit-based, it's going to be project-driven, and it's going to be, you're going to have writing samples. So maybe a research project you've done in the past is a sample of how you can write, how you can analyze, how you can critically think. And then different writing prompts, personal statements, research statement, grant proposal, all those different words. I explained in my presentation on how not to travel. How not to grad school like a basic bitch. So make sure you look at that replay to get the definitions of each of those. If not, I'll do videos on those in the next one. So Profellow Database. This is where you're going to find fellowships, articles, funding directory, fully funded courses. And here it says over 1,300 fellowships in our database, and you can get support from each of those. They have advisors, they have webinars, they have sponsors, they have alumni that have gotten fellowships that are willing to talk to you. So make sure you sign up for their newsletter and their information to get the latest, because they are really up to date with everything. So an example of a fellowship would be the Daisy Soros, the Rangel, the Pickering, the Schwarzman, the Rhodes, the Gates Cambridge, Fulbright. And I'm going to talk a little bit about each to give you an overview as to maybe something that sparks your interest. And then it's really going to be for you, your next step to do your research. You're going to go into each website and see, is this what I want? Is this what I'm looking for? Maybe not, maybe yes. So that's really going to be the work that you're going to do after this presentation. So that's fellowships, my friends. It's really merit-based, project-driven, and research, and for your graduate, master's, or doctoral journey. So now the third thing is grants, basically funding for academic achievement again. So sometimes grants and fellowships and scholarships are used interchangeably, but the biggest difference between a scholarship and a fellowship is that one can be need-based too, which is your scholarship, and fellowship is strictly merit-based. So that's not need-based. They might have a need-based component to it, but the crux and the root of it is merit-based. So what do I mean by merit-based? Merit means your scholastic academic achievement. And even if you have maybe a GPA that you don't think is great, I would double check everyone's requirements before you knock your own self out. Don't shoot yourself in the foot before you do your research and look at what the requirements are. So the next one is grants. Very similar. So scholarships.org says grants are very similar to scholarships. Grants usually don't require any kind of repayment, and students typically qualify for grant awards based on financial need, merit, or some eligibility criteria. So some grants might not even ask you your grades or your financial need. They might just ask if you're part of an affinity group, or if you're part of a program, or if you're part of some research project that you want to do. So this is a very open-ended and very has different levels to it. So make sure you do your research with grants. So some examples are Fulbright can be considered a grant or a fellowship. A university-wide grant that could be found within departments, or a university grant could be given to you on behalf of the Office of the President or Office of the Dean in the College of Arts and Sciences, or STEM or business, or whatever program you're in. That's where the fellowship grants can come from. They can be given to you by nonprofits, or they can be given to you by think tanks, right? So nonprofits might have grants that they give out to students because they want to do research that relates to their nonprofit. So some of the contingency plans could be that your research goes back to the nonprofit, and that's part of your service work. So that's one way to look at it. And then another way for a fellowship is it could either last 6 months, 3 months, or it can last a year, 2 years. It really depends on the program. It's very, very different depending on who is giving you the award. So for example, the Paul and Daisy Soros for New Americans is considered a fellowship. They even call you fellows, right? So on their website, this is for New Americans or first generation students who identify as such in order to pay for their graduate school funding. So even if you're in your first year, second year, you can still apply for this funding. So make sure you do your research with them. Another one is the Fulbright Grant. So this has different things based on study abroad experiences or countries that you may want to visit and the research you want to do in those countries. So you have to do your research under about and applicants, right? Your history, the types of awards, your eligibility, and then the competition timeline. The Fulbright has already closed for this year, which is, we are in November 2020. People who applied will be notified in February, March for the previous cycle, and it opens up in July, and the deadline is usually in October. So if you're thinking of the Fulbright Grant, start writing your essays, start thinking about it, start putting energy towards it, so then when comes July, you can start filling out the application, and then you submit it well before October, so the computer doesn't, or the software website doesn't crash, right? So give yourself time to think about it, because it has different parts to it. It's not just an essay. You need transcripts, recommendation letters, writing samples. So you need to give yourself time to really, really apply for it. So check their website out for something specific to you. We have the Charles B. Rangel International Affairs Program. This is about doing international service work as a foreign service officer. So you do a 2-year master's program that is fully funded, which is considered a fellowship and scholarship, because this is merit-based, but also need-based. So it can be considered both. So it's important, if you're interested in this, to do your research on this. If you're interested in international service work, study abroad opportunities, this is something that would be really good. Pickering is similar to the Rangel Fellowship. So they also call it fellowship. So this is also about 2-year master's program to do international service work. And then you do your foreign service commitment after you get your master's degree. So make sure you check out their website for more information. The Pickering and the Rangel are administered by the US Department of State, as well as Fulbright. The Schwarzman Scholarship, this is a 1-year fellowship scholarship opportunity to learn Mandarin, but also get your master's degree in China. For most up-to-date information, check out their website. You can talk to a graduate advisor, and you can also join their webinars to learn more about this particular fellowship. And it is, as you can see here, webinars and information session. You can watch the student experience, meet previous scholars. So their website is very, very robust. So what's next, my friends? Now that you know what a scholarship is, what a fellowship is, and what a grant is, let's apply. Get organized. I have an Excel spreadsheet for you, or a graduate school organizer ready for download. It's in the comment section. Make sure you get it. If you don't know where to start or how to organize your brain, if you're feeling overwhelmed, get that organizer. Look at your deadlines, your dates, and your requirements. Start to order your transcripts. Do your research, programs, requirements, deadlines, financial aid support, the grants, the fellowships, the scholarships, all of it. Do the research. And also network. Professors you might be interested in working with for your graduate program, for your PhD program. For some fellowships, you might need to tell who is your academic advisor and who's going to be supporting you in the research and the administration of the fellowship money and the fellowship dollars. So make sure you're networking and knowing who you're going to talk to and connect with. Start thinking about recommendation letters and start asking. Start telling people you're interested in this, that are going to help you with this project, that are going to help you with this application process. And as a gift to you, because you stayed until the whole presentation and you've listened and you got it motivated and you changed your mindset to, yes, you are worth this scholarship, this fellowship, and the grad program, I'm going to give you this graduate school organizer. So it has 4 different sections to help you organize your grad school journey. So you know where to start. This is my gift to you, my friends. Make sure you check it out, download it, edit it how you need to, and let me know if it's helpful or not, and if you need to add something to it. So let's get social now, friends. If you want more of Delicia and a little bit of hype every day, you can add me on Instagram, Delicia D. Alarcon, Daily Lingo Academy. Subscribe to the channel to get more updates and more videos like this. You can follow me at TikTok Career Coach. I have 1,000 followers now, so that means I can go live. Not because follower counts matter and we know it's a vanity metric. However, this is important because now I can go live and do free trainings like this on TikTok. So join me there. We do a little dancing, we have a little fun. And then if you want more hype and you want insider training and insider questions that are going to be answered, join my Facebook group. It's called College and Career Hype Crew. We're going to hype each other up to make sure you get into the program you want and you get the money to go and to get the career you want. So make sure you join us in there. After you watch this YouTube video, make sure you join the group so you can join the question and answer session only in the Facebook group. So join us. And of course, if you want to network and connect with me, add me on LinkedIn. We have all the different channels because I love to be social. And in this digital world, it's online, baby. So I so hope this presentation was helpful and you're a little bit more clear about what the heck is a scholarship, what the heck is a fellowship, what is a grant, and you're motivated to apply and do it. Remember, shift your mindset, shift your framework. You are getting what you deserve. You are worth it. We're reclaiming, and it's part of reparations. So get your money, honey. So make sure you subscribe, like, get your gift. It's going to be linked down below. And let me know what you thought about this. Was this helpful? Was this not? What else would you like to see? What other questions do you have? Talk to me, my friends. I'm here for you. Until the next one.